I am Andrew Duvajonc. I'm the Associate Director of Supply Chain Operations for Kubota Tractor Corporation. Kubota Tractor Corporation is a North American distribution company for the Kubota manufacturing companies around the world. So we have 3 distribution centers across the U.S. and multiple 3PL relationships on ports. And we distribute all the construction, ag, turf, and recreational vehicle to our 1,100 or so, 1,200 dealers across the United States. So I have responsibilities for material planning and orders management, new product introduction, data and analytics, and inventory optimization. So I'm the lucky recipient of any blame no matter what goes wrong. So that made the importance of this project even more so, because we're going to solve a lot of the problems that reside within all those spaces, hopefully with one suite of software. Yeah, Kubota grew so fast, I think the business outgrew its internal capabilities. So there are times where, as a $5 or $6 billion company, there are attributes of how we ran the business that were similar to what you'd see in a mom and pop type shop. A lot of Excel usage, a lot of silos of information and just personal knowledge. So we had a product that was well ahead of how our business ran. So we just knew if we were going to sustain this type of growth and be a major brand across the world, we need to have software and capabilities that were in line with the excellence of the products that we sell and our customers have come to expect from Kubota. Yeah, when we get to the end of this, we want to have real-time visibility to what's going on in our supply chain and capabilities to do what-if modeling and best-case scenario, and also get into some predictive so we can start understanding what's happening today and optimize it, and also start predicting what we think is going to happen in the coming 3 to 6 months, potentially even looking out 1 year. So we've been a very reactive company. In my organization specifically, we are very reactive to what happens in the market, and we explain to leadership what happened, and we got pretty good at that. We want to take it further to where we can tell them what's going to happen with a high degree of confidence and then execute to that, and kind of take the performance of our supply chain and distribution network to the next level. Yeah, our existing solution was Microsoft Excel. So we thought like it was time to upgrade on the software that we were using. We are an SAP user as well. Our business is so complex and it's very unique that we knew we were not going to find out-of-the-box functionality that would allow us to run the business the way we wanted to. So as we were going down the journey with SAP on an S4 launch, we knew there were going to be gaps in terms of capabilities. And so we started shopping for software providers that could fill those gaps for us and give us the type of functionality and visibility that we knew we were going to need. Yeah, I would say we are right on the cusp of generating the benefits that we've told leadership that we would. So we've got some pretty lofty targets. We think we can take double-digit percentage of inventory out of our entire supply chain. We'd love to see 10-15% reduction in inventory in the first 6 to 12 months of running this. We have been disappointing our dealers for years now because our system was too complex for SAP and our internal software to give our dealers good expected delivery dates. So they were kind of flying blind in terms of when equipment was going to arrive to them. So the 2 big hallmarks that we're trying to achieve with this program is to reduce our inventory and give dealers accurate dates when they can expect their equipment and perform to that at a 90% plus percentage. And we think one feeds the other. As dealers gain more confidence in Kubota's ability to deliver to them on time, they will feel more confident carrying less inventory. So I think one kind of feeds the other, and if we can achieve both of those, I think this software launch will be viewed as a resounding success across the company. Yes, so we manage hundreds of thousands of sales orders with 10 to 20 lines on every sales order. The sheer magnitude of sales order lines is too much for a human to manage as they change on a daily basis. So already we're seeing the benefits of having an automated tool in the background doing the majority of the heavy lifting and allowing our people, our human capital, to handle the outliers and the exceptions. So we really want to get to an exception management type scenario. We know the software is never going to do everything for us, but if it can do the heavy lifting and we can redeploy our people to handle those corner conditions. That's the goal that we're working toward. Yeah, that's always touchy. You'll hear different philosophies. You need to get your data right before you start on a project like this, or you start a project like this to get your data right. And I think there's probably a little bit of truth to both. You need to start with a good semblance and understanding how your data is working, where it's coming from, what it's telling you. But I think if you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll never launch a program. So our approach has been get it pretty clean, launch the project. And one of the benefits you see on software launches like this is it exposes all your bad data points. And then the faster you get it live, the faster you can get in there and try to fix your data. And then the third piece of that is once, we call it eating our own cooking. So once our folks are the recipients of the bad data they put in months ago, they are incented to make sure when they put new data into the system as the recipients and users of that data, they are highly incented to make sure that data going in is accurate and representative of what they're trying to construe. So I would just recommend get it to the point where the system can run on it. It'll expose your hot spots for bad data, and then just jump in and try to fix it as soon as you can. And level set within the organization. We did a lot of that. We told people this is not going to be perfect on day one. It's going to be a crawl, walk, run approach. Nobody expected us to come out with 100% accuracy on everything on day one. So we managed expectations up front, and then as probably under promised, and then our goal is to over deliver as we get this thing going. We took an approach of making sure our users were part of the blueprinting and the development of the software. So we didn't just sit in our ivory tower in Grapevine, Texas and design software that we were going to go out to the field and hope they adopted it, because I've done this. And as soon as you leave, they go back to all the same Excel sheets they've had tucked into their desktops forever. And so our goal from the beginning of this was to build software that was so easy to use that people wanted to use it. It was easy to use. It's better than what they were using. So you get early adopters to come on board and be a champion for the software. So you've got to build a software suite that's easier to use than what they're doing today, or people are just going to be reticent to come on board. So we did that. We had great buy-in from our sales community. They were a part of all the blueprinting and all the designing and the UAT and all the testing that we've done. So they were a key part of this. So not only can they be a champion for us with the rest of the organization, they actually have their fingerprints all over the design and the architecture. So we're giving them a product that they wanted, not something we thought that the sales teams would use. Yeah, we had a long process. So there's a lot of folks out there that sell software, and we went to all the conferences out there and interviewed as many as we could. We talked to customers of a lot of the companies that are selling the software, and we probably got down to about 10 or so, started doing our homework on all those 10, did deep dives into what they offered, had them come in and model their software, show us what their capabilities are, talk to their customers again. We narrowed it down to the last 2 or 3. And really the biggest aha for us in the process was a couple things. A lot of the companies told us what they would do. O9 came back to us within a week and showed us they had a working model. That told us a couple things. A, they had the capabilities to do it, and B, they understood our problem well enough to articulate it back to us and show us how they were going to solve it. So that really put O9 ahead of some of the other competition. Another thing we really liked about O9 was they weren't trying to force Kubota's business into pre-existing conditions that reside within the software that they were selling. So they knew our business was unique. They didn't tell us we needed to change the way we did our business to fit our business inside of O9's box. And so there's flexibility. They were nimble. They knew they could use their core intelligence, the digital brain, the solver capabilities. Then they could augment their software where needed to really take care of the unique needs that Kubota had. Yeah, I think you need to understand your problem statement really, really well. You have to pick the right problem statement. You need to find a problem that's big enough to solve and important enough to solve to bring in this type of a company to do it, because you're going to exhaust a lot of capital, both human and financial, and time doing this. It is not easy, it is not cheap, it is not fast, it doesn't come without costs. So you have to make sure you have the right problem, and that A, you understand it well enough, and then B, you can articulate the problem statement well enough to the company who's trying to solve it so they can come back and give you a good solution. So that is really critical, that they understand your problem as well as we do. And so I've joked that, I sit up at night and I have dreams about these issues that we face, and it should be in the nightmares of the company you're doing software launches with, and they ought to be thinking about it and trying to solve it as passionately as you are. The other thing I think is you need to find a partner that you're ready to be in a relationship with for 10, 15, 20 years, because if you do this right, you're going to be linked at the hips for probably a decade if you're trying to solve complex problems and everything goes well. So you need to pick a partner that you want to do business with, and you aren't just a vendor and consumer type relationship. And that's been important for us with O9, is it is a true collaboration. There's a collaborative spirit, and we feel like partners in this, not a customer and vendor type relationship. Boy, I would say if you're not on a path to take advantage of some of the technology that's available to you, you need to probably get on that path pretty quickly, because while it used to be considered bells and whistles, it's almost a strategic imperative at this point to have the capabilities to diagnose and analyze what's going on in your supply chain and do optimal outcome solution planning in real time. If you don't have that, I would say you are probably at a competitive disadvantage. And with the way the supply chain moves today and the dynamics and how everything changes so quickly, if you don't have some form of capabilities that can give you the ability to change as quickly or predict some of that, I would say you're at a competitive disadvantage to a lot of your peers in the industry. And we've seen that as we go out and look at who's running what software. We knew we were behind at Kubota, and we made the decision as a company. The supply chain function is critical to the next 10, 20, 30 years of how this company goes. And we needed to make sure we equipped our people with the tools to be really good at their jobs. Because that's another element, is if you're not giving your people the right tools to do their job, it becomes a competition for people then also. Yeah, we have been in the blueprinting and promising phase for months now, and we are right on the cusp of rolling out what I believe is going to be very impactful software. In fact, in March, we're going to roll out our first forward-facing software to people outside of the supply chain. And so everything we've built to this point has been inward-facing to my team. In March, we roll out software that's rolling out to our sales network. So I expect adoption and usage, and I'm really looking forward to being able to diagnose what's going on in our business in real time and start making better decisions, more predictive decisions toward the back half of this year, and run our business in a manner that nobody at Kubota has ever seen and probably ever thought possible. Yeah, I think the utilization of this type of software and artificial intelligence for the rote tasks, the routine tasks, the repetitive tasks, I think the technology is now becoming good enough that you can trust software and some of the artificial intelligence that's being developed to do a lot of the tasks that we had people burdened with before. I don't think it's an opportunity to replace people. I think it's an opportunity to put people on all the things that you wish you had headcount to do but couldn't ever get to because you were too busy running the railroad. So I think we'll get to a point where we're almost in a pure exception management type scenario, where the machines are making all the obvious decisions and executing on some of the clerical work, and our people are working on more strategic things that are going to move the needle for the success of the company. So I think that will be industry-wide in the next decade, the use of these type of tools. Boy, I can't overstate how important it has been for us to find a true partner in this, because we aren't experts in this space. And so bringing in someone that wanted to work with us, wanted to come alongside of us, we almost feel like O9 is as interested in the success of Kubota as the Kubota folks are. And that's been a hallmark of the success of this project so far. So I think choosing the right partner is probably the most important decision you'll make when you're going down this journey, because if you get with the wrong one, you've got a lot of retracing of steps to do and a lot of ground to make up and a lot of time to make up. So I would say do your homework up front, really understand your problem statements, pick the right partner, stay focused on those. That's really important as well. You get some of these new tools and you think you can cure every problem known to man, and you have to keep teams focused on the problem that was in front of you, or you'll get scope creeped and you'll get off time, off project. Yeah, going through college, I didn't even know supply chain existed. So I had aspirations of being a professional baseball player and a general manager of the Yankees. That role is filled, so I had to find another path, and I just happened to be born and raised in Moline, Illinois, which is the headquarters for another large agricultural manufacturer. And so that was probably my aspiration then, was to work for that company, and supply chain fit my skill set. I'm a problem solver. I'm a collaborator. I like working with other functional areas to solve hard problems, and supply chain was a perfect fit for me. And I probably wasn't smart enough to get an engineering degree either, so that was a good fit for me.